You just mentioned eliminating the Department of Education. Could
Yeah.
you expand on that a bit more on why that would help?
Uh, in the United States, and I would say in most countries, most developed countries, second, first world nations, you don't need a Department of Education because it's ineffective, it's inefficient, and it's counterproductive because you're putting the federal government that knows nothing about you, me, your kids, my kids. They know nothing about our community. They don't care. They say, you have to know X. And they don't care how you get to know X. They don't care if you can comprehend X. They don't care if you can apply X. They just want to know that you have memorized X. That's not very useful. That doesn't make a productive community. That doesn't make a productive nation. It just means that you can spit back a number so that some politician can turn around and go, see, kids are graduating and they've hit X. I'm doing a great job. Reelect me. Or for some political organization to go and say, see, they're not getting our kids to know X. Therefore, you need to donate more money for me so I can go to a union or whatever political organization and force them to pay the teachers more money. That's not helping the kids. The Department of Education may have had a purpose 100 years ago. It doesn't have a purpose today, especially when we then add in the internet, the capability of having the Library of Alexandria in every single cell phone. What we need now is not access to the information or rote memorization. We need to know about application. And that's the federal government can't do that. It's the big giant taking the big steps. Our communities are small. They need to take small steps. They're the ones who are directly connected to those kids. And again, the other reason is because the federal government, whether it's right or left, doesn't matter. It's focused on a political agenda because it's driven by a political agenda. So we're either over focusing on conservative ideology because, again, no matter what the government does, it's taking big strides. So it's going to overcorrect no matter what it does. So we're either becoming too conservative in our ideology or we're becoming too progressive in our ideology. And both of them result in stagnation. Get rid of the federal government. It's not necessary. Go and let us focus on the local schools and you'll do better. And that's at least $120 billion a year. Excuse me. Yeah, $120 billion a year. Wow. How many people do we feed with that? How many homeless people do we feed with that? How many mental health people who need mental health? How many of them do we help? We're focused on the wrong things.
Yeah, definitely. Me and Aaron talk about the education system a lot, and I think you summed it up quite well because the internet's out there. All the information that you could possibly dream of is out there at a click of a button. But yet, the school system still rely on giving you books with a certain narrative to follow. Whereas now, yeah, we should be looking at a more free way of learning, and as you said, application of the information that we've got out there. I mean, I've been to obviously through school, through college, through university, and in my main job, yeah, it is still what I studied for in university and did my degree on, but I'm not actually applying anything that I learned from university in the real world. I've just learned it all myself via the internet.
Yeah, well, think about it. 60% of people that whatever your degree is in, you don't work in that field at all. 60%. And that number is increasing as we have more and more academic related degrees. Yes, you know lesbian dance theory, which is actually something you can get a degree in. That has no application in the real world, which is why I always love to quote it because it's so ridiculous. African studies, fantastic. No real world application. You're not going to be going out and, hey, I am a master's in African studies. I should get that job. Why? That has nothing to do with being able to sell stuff at Target. Really, it's meaningless. So, and we have the wrong focus. Let me give you my history. When I was many decades ago, I was in high school. My high school physics book, I was in advanced high school science. I was taking physics, which was an advanced class for the 12th grade. I was also going to the City College of New York at the same time, taking chemistry. I learned more about physics in my chemistry class in 101 chemistry at college than I did in my high school physics class, in part because the physics book I had was older than I was. I was 18. The book was 22 years old. Okay. It gives you an idea. And yet, that didn't prevent me from going to college. That didn't prevent me from becoming educated. That didn't prevent me from being able to have jobs both before and after. That had nothing to do with science. The knowledge isn't about rote memorization. It's about the application. Now, there are things that I learned, again, if you're studying chemistry, especially the basics, biology, chemistry, physics, they're all interrelated at the basic level. So I'm going to learn about physics in chemistry. I'm going to learn about chemistry in biology, and so on. That is interesting. So the knowledge, the base knowledge will come. Why are we focused on can you quote back or rote memorize X? No, can you apply it? Without the distraction of things like math is racist, which is just stupid. That's just politics. And that's where we are now. We're into, well, it doesn't matter if 2 + 2 = 5. Is it racist? Why are we wasting our kids' time? Again, this is the government overstepping. We've gone too far to the progressive side. We're focused on the politics. No, 2 + 2 = 4. We've known that since Archimedes. Why are we saying it's racist? How does that help you do math? It doesn't. It helps a political agenda. This is why we don't need education.
Somebody said maths is racist.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's a whole movement about that. It's been around since 2014. They've been saying, came out of California. It's been across the nation. It gets attention in the news media on and off. Math is racist because we don't emphasize that math is Arabic. We use Arabic numbers. It came from the Arabic region. Because we don't acknowledge that, that's racist. It's, what do they call it? When you absorb a different racist culture. What do they call it? White.
Cultural appropriation.
That's it. Cultural appropriation. It's so stupid. We culturally appropriated the Arabic math system. No, it's just called math because everyone uses it. I don't need to know where it came from. It's just math. But more important than that, they have also gone even further, because now you look at, and this is why certain books were being banned. People are like, oh my God, you're banning books. Well, why are we talking about sex and we're using examples of sex and sexuality in a math example? Why are we using examples of politics in math examples? If there are 5 people going to a protest and there are 10 policemen who are trying to beat them down, how many people are going to get arrested? What the hell kind of question is that? That's not a math problem. Why are we talking like that? Because you're trying to insert politics. And this is one of the problems. This trans guy, if 5 trans guys get on a bus going to Indiana, stop right there. Who cares? Why are we adding that? Because we're adding a political element, because it's no longer about the math question. It's about the politics and the indoctrination. And therefore, we are instantly at that moment failing our kids. Yes, that book should be removed. Why? Because it has nothing to do with math. Because you're not trying to teach the kid math now. What you're trying to teach them is indoctrination to a political ideology. And I don't care if that's on the right or the left. It doesn't have a place in the math course, and therefore that book should be banned. Does that make sense?